Once upon a time, there lived a man named John in a village. John was from a rich family, but he was very stingy. He had a wife named Elizabeth and two children, Misha and Louis. John's father didn't like how miserly he was. He often tried to teach John the importance of sharing and enjoying life. But John never listened. One day, John's father passed away, leaving all his wealth to John. At the reading of the will, John felt happy, but also worried about how to manage it. One evening, Elizabeth said to John,
"The school fee date came. Can you give me the money so I can pay the school tomorrow?"
John looked up from his newspaper and said,
"Why should I spend money on that? They can stay home and learn."
"But they need a proper education."
Elizabeth insisted.
"Please think about their future."
"I have decided to cancel their school admission,"
John said firmly.
"We don't need to spend money on things we can do ourselves."
Elizabeth sighed but couldn't do anything. The next morning, Louis and Misha woke up, excited for school. Elizabeth stood at the door with a serious look on her face.
"You won't go to school from today,"
she said.
"Why?"
Louis asked.
"Your dad thinks spending money on school fees is a waste,"
Elizabeth replied sadly.
"So, it's better if you both study at home."
Misha protested.
"But we will miss our friends and teachers."
Louis nodded and added,
"We want to go to school."
Elizabeth sighed and shook her head.
"I can't do anything for you."
The children looked at each other, feeling sad and helpless. As the weeks passed, John's children, Misha and Louis, wore clothes that had become too small and frayed at the edges. Their shoes were full of holes, and they struggled to keep their feet dry on rainy days. Misha often looked down at her worn-out shoes, wishing for a new pair to wear. Elizabeth, too, wore faded dresses that had lost their charm long ago. She often mended her clothes. One day, Louis woke up with a high fever. He lay in bed, shivering and looking very weak. Elizabeth quickly went to John.
"John, we need to take Louis to the doctor,"
she said.
"No, it's just a fever,"
John replied.
"I will give him some fever syrup." Taking him to the doctor is a waste of money.
"But he needs a doctor,"
Elizabeth said.
Just let him rest.
John said, turning away.
He will be fine.
John took the fever syrup from the cabinet and gave it to Louis at home. After 2 days of rest and taking the syrup, Louis slowly regained his health and started to smile again. One day, John's friend Mike visited and noticed the poor condition of John's family. He saw the worn clothes and tired faces of Elizabeth, Misha, and Louis.
John, you really need to stop being so miserly.
Mike said.
Your family deserves better.
John shrugged.
They have everything they need. Why spend money?
Money can't buy happiness, but it can help your family enjoy life.
Mike replied. John just shook his head, not understanding what Mike meant. His father had left a lot of gold for him. John wanted to keep the gold safe in every way possible, as he always feared the threat of thieves. So, he decided to take precautions to protect it. John thought a plan. He melted all his gold into a big lump and decided to bury it in a secret place. One night, John took his lump of gold to a lonely spot. He dug a pit below a tree and buried the lump in it. After covering the pit with dirt, he returned home. However, he still made regular visits to the spot where he had buried the gold. One night, John went to the place where he buried his lump of gold. He dug into the ground to make sure it was safe. Above him, a thief hid in the tree, watching closely. When he saw John pull out the gold, the thief smiled to himself and thought,
Oh, good luck.
After John left, the thief climbed down the tree and dug out the buried lump of gold for himself. When John visited the spot next time, he was devastated to find the theft. He held his head in his hands and wailed over his loss. His friend Mike saw him sad and asked,
What makes you so sad, John?
My gold has been stolen. I buried it in a pit at a secluded place. And now someone has dug it out. I am ruined, indeed.
John replied sorrowfully.
Don't take it to heart, my friend.
His friend reassured him.
Your gold was lying there, quite useless. At least now someone will make good use of it. You can place a stone in the pit and visit it every night. In this way, you can keep you happy.
Moral: greed can cause problems. It's better to share.